Claude, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on being selected to this year's Donner Book Prize Shortlist.
Thank you.
Now, having been an integral part, and some would say the father of Quebec healthcare, tell me about the timing of writing this book.
Well, 5 years ago, I was asked to head a small task force on the financing of our health system here in Quebec. We made a pretty thorough review of the system, and we came to a number of conclusions. But our report was tabled while we had a minority government, and it was pretty well ignored, unfortunately. And since then, the situation, in my opinion, has not improved, even if health expenditures have increased considerably in these last few years. So I felt that with the knowledge that I had developed in that study, plus the work that I did following it, I felt that I had to complete what I had started in that study group. And this is why I decided to write this book. And I still feel that I didn't lose my time doing it.
And who would you say is to blame for the perceived problems with Quebec healthcare?
I must say that I put the emphasis on trying to find solutions, directions to take, that sort of thing. So I wasn't looking for a culprit or somebody responsible, but I identified a certain number of factors, though. For example, the Department of Health has become a very controlling department. The number of people working, you know, at the higher level of the system has increased considerably, and the effort is on controlling expenditures instead of improving the productivity, the quality of the services rendered. Then the system of financing the establishment has to be improved and changed. The remuneration of physicians, of doctors, has to be changed because it isn't working properly. You have also to deal with public interest groups that exert pressure. So finally, there are a number of factors that are involved, and the solutions are, as a rule that I propose, related to those factors, but again with the idea of proposing solutions or new directions.
Now, in your book, you present a plan for comprehensive reform to the system. How many recommendations are you suggesting?
I propose 14 proposals, but in fact there is a more limited one, a number of important ones dealing with the administrative structures, with the financing of the establishment, with the remuneration of doctors, with the evaluation of performance of hospitals and clinics, and with the selection of priorities. You know, we cannot always add and never adjust. The state of our public finances indicate clearly that some priorities have to be selected.
Now, in your book, you deliver your recommendations with an all-or-nothing approach. Why is that?
Well, I feel that too often, and it's still occurring, when a problem develops somewhere in the system, a little solution is being proposed, or there is a promise that a solution will come forward. And there is never an overall approach taken to the improvement of the system. And this is why I felt that an overall plan has to be developed, and I made these proposals knowing very well that it would take 2 or 3 years to implement them, and that as time goes, you know, they can be adjusted. There is nothing sacred really or rigid in what I propose there. Mainly, you know, fairly broad proposals.
And what are your hopes for the future of not only Quebec healthcare, but national healthcare?
I believe that our national health system is made up of a number of provincial systems. And this is where the change, in my opinion, has to take place, because the provinces manage these systems, and this is where the change will have to take place. Now, the Canadian government as a whole, it is involved in the financing, and up until now, its role has been relatively neutral, and even I would say a little punitive, you know, threatening the provinces to cut the financings if certain events happen. It seems to me that the federal government could play a more positive role, and in its financing approach, stimulate innovation and improvement in productivity.
Do you see change coming too late? Are we being too reactive rather than proactive?
Well, I think that one of the problem in our health system is that we have not adapted our systems to the numerous changes taking place. You know, it's a complex system to a health services system, and changes are taking place all the time, and we haven't adapted enough to them. And this is why, in my opinion, we should take a more proactive approach.
And finally, do you feel, in your opinion, is there a politician in Quebec who can bring about change?
It's very difficult to pass a judgment on that. You know, you talk to them in a private way, and they understand the problems as well as you do. But put a micro in front of them, and if they talk to the public at large, their way of expressing themselves changes completely. So it's very difficult to tell who could do the best job, but I believe that there are some politicians that could do so if they have the political will and the backing also in order to do so.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Claude. I appreciate it.